This is a HeadGum podcast.
Halloween is over, and so, that just means that it is festivities o'clock. I don't know.
It's the most wonderful time for sales.
Yes. As Brie called it, it's Christmas first.
Yeah, she texted me Happy Christmas 1st on November 1st, and it's this dweeb. I love her.
But also accurate.
But also true. Thanksgiving's kind of a pleasant feast in the middle of Christmas.
Yeah, it gives you the energy to make it through that second leg too.
Yeah.
That's what I love about
I'm
it.
I'm actually so excited for Thanksgiving. We just got 3 new baking trays.
Oh my god.
Because one of ours started to rust. Is that normal?
It was one of the first things that we purchased in Seattle.
Oh yeah, Chris literally was like, Rachel, this is he finally got emotional over something, and it was this crusty, greased up, shitty looking pan.
This is the pan that we cooked our first meal in Seattle on, aka
Dino Nuggets. It's so fucked up because our first meal was Dino Nuggets and
we had Little Woodies.
Cheese string. Oh yeah, you're right.
We had Little Woodies as our first meal.
But the first meal we cooked in our brand new kitchen.
Yeah,
and
water
it was
and
string
styrofoam.
Cheese. Think about it. That's the least kind of dinner that we would have now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we were doing it.
We did it.
We slept on the floor. It was all the apple humble beginnings.
Whoa. Who are you?
Who is she? Anyway.
Yeah, it's a holiday time, and so we talked about last year that we were going to do a gift exchange, but then it didn't happen because I was unemployed, and I didn't really feel like setting it all up, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a lot, and he was busy
job
hunting.
Now there's no excuses, and we're doing the gift exchange.
Finch, we are.
And we are going to get all into the details, but first I guess we should tell you that this is Coffee with Chrachel.
Yeah, I'm Rachel.
I'm Chris.
And wow,
coffee.
I love coffee.
It's pretty good. So why don't you explain what deliciousness we are
Let me take a nice sip. I can't get the nice sip now that I'm using a stainless steel straw. I'm trying to cut back on the yellowing of my teeth with the straw, if you were wondering.
No, I figured. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
But then I still put the straw not behind my teeth at times.
Yeah.
And I'm this is dumb.
You're just funneling it right to the front.
It also has a lot to do with when I'm wearing a sheet mask.
Yeah.
And how many times have any of you guys out there, you dunk the little over your lip flap into your coffee, and then you're like, wow, I taste floral coffee fragrance serum in my mouth. Don't do it. Anyway, this coffee is delicious, and it is from Matt and Kelsey, who we gave a anniversary shout out, I believe it was.
Yes.
I don't know what episode it was.
I couldn't tell you, but it was a little while ago.
But Matt orchestrated the whole shebang because Kelsey listened to our show, and if you guys are listening to this now, yo, what's up?
How you doing?
And so we gave them a shout out so that we could surprise her. And now they gave us coffee. So we are drinking this. It's Leap Roasters. So that's, taking a leap of faith here with this roast. And
there's a whole label on the other side.
Yeah, it's the Red Cup Square House Blend. So there you go.
Some math.
It's a house blend. I typically like the house blend, which is weird because everybody has a unique house blend.
Crazy.
I know.
The world of coffee is so weird.
It's very nuanced. We haven't used the nuance in the workplace. I don't know what I'm saying. I just feel like I haven't used that word because we did at one point really kill it.
Yeah, we moved on to lit from there. As the whole
lit
world
needs
did.
to.
Yeah, now lit needs to die.
I'm still saying it though. I can't help it. Also, the just calling everything a she. It needs to stop, but...
Yeah, everything, we need some new weirdness.
We need some new snappy lingo to catch up with you youngins.
But Bincho is timeless.
Yeah, that's true.
So, coffee fact.
Yes, please.
The name cappuccino comes from the color of the drink's resemblance to the Capuchin monks.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right.
So, there you go.
I thought it was going to have something to do with the foam.
some weird Italian or like Latin word for foam.
Yeah, because man, we spent a lot of time on cappuccinos at Starbucks, and honestly, you don't make that many of them. Like, I feel like cappuccino's kind of like an old person drink, but I still get them because I know as like a former barista that they are pretty good. Mm-hmm. But it's when you're just like, I really want a little bit of coffee and a lot of foam.
I feel like people just go for lattes or just an espresso shot. Like,
yeah, or like, oh my god, cold brew is just like the thing. I don't know if that's like a West Coast thing, because I feel like I heard more and more about cold brew as I moved out here, and now like the bigger chains are picking it up too.
I mean, we lived in like the bitter Northeast where it got like really fucking cold.
It was Folgers, and that was all she wrote. Honestly though, I grew up on Folgers.
Incestual Folgers, you know?
God bless. But really, I mean, that can was iconic. And how many times did you sniff that little Tupperware? You know?
Every day of the week.
Nothing like flipping that rubbery lid right off and smelling that robust Folgers. This podcast is actually not sponsored. Yo, I would take a sponsorship. I know it's watered down, but like, I'd take it.
Come on, Folgers. I mean, to be honest, it's not that bad.
It's
like,
literally any coffee brand could honestly advertise on the show.
We're here. Just let us know.
We got sex toy ads for the coffee show. We got it. It's fine.
So let's talk about the gift exchange a little bit.
Yeah, so we've already had like hundreds of people sign up for this, which is super exciting.
Yeah, like we haven't even talked about it here yet, and there's already so many of you bitches signing up.
So we're doing basically a Secret Santa. All of the information is on our website, which is CoffeeWithChrachel.net. It's also on the Reddit page. There's like a whole sticky thread for that. So all the information, because we're not going to like sit here and fucking tell you all the little things about it, but there's a whole information list on all of those places.
Yeah, you can also just go to CoffeeWithChrachel.net, and we have a gift exchange page there, which is actually where you enter.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell you, though, that the deadline to enter it is midnight Pacific time on November 11th.
Yes, so you've got a couple weeks, you know, do your voting, Americans.
Yeah.
And then
celebrate by joining the gift exchange.
And I have been getting a lot of questions from people asking if there's like a maximum price, and we did. We set it at $20 for the gift. I know shipping is not really included in that because it's really going to depend on where you're going to be shipping it from. And we've hopefully been able to like get the contact form that we're having people fill out. Like, I think it has enough information that like this will work really well.
Yeah, there's a place for, you know, any allergies or preferences or things that you don't want to see show up.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't want to ship internationally, that's okay too.
Yeah. If you're like, I'm not trying to spend a lot of money on shipping, then we'll try to pair people up that want to ship it from the same country, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we hope everybody enjoys it. We'll be also doing it, so you'll get it, you know, someone will get matched up with me and someone will get Chris.
Yep.
So that's fun.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what I get as a gift in exchange too.
I know.
It's exciting.
It'll be really fun. I hope you guys like share it. We should make like a hashtag or something for it so that people can share like as they're getting packages.
We will definitely have a thread on our Reddit for like sharing what you got.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really fun. Hopefully everything goes really well. This is our first one, so I'm expecting some hiccups, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to keep like building these like community events, if you will.
Definitely.
And hopefully make this like seamless as hell as years go on, because this could be like maybe a fun tradition that we do every holiday where that's why
I called it the first annual, because I hope that there's more to come.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
But like I've never been involved in like a Secret Santa that's been legit before.
Yeah, me neither.
You do like the
maybe like a school.
We did Pollyanna.
Yeah, Pollyanna.
If you know what that is, you were in Eastern PA. Wait, was I in Eastern PA?
Yes.
Thank God. Honestly, PA's just one envelope-shaped state, and no one knows where the fuck they are. Like, I don't know my ass between Philadelphia or Scranton, honestly. Like, Scranton. I love saying that. That and Trenton. It was Trenton, New Jersey, and Scranton.
Susquehanna. Fantastic.
Yes. Anyway.
So we got a topic of talking about all things LGBT plus, you know.
Yes.
But before we get into that, we have just like a couple, you know, stupid little things that we wanted to talk about.
Things before I like went on an entire like LGBTQ like conversation on Twitter and decided to make this whole episode about that. Yeah. So sorry about that if you weren't interested in that this week. Next week's episode's all about climate change, so get ready for that. Literally though. Like,
it is. Yeah, so we tried to get a chair from West Elm. We might have talked about that before. We were like, yo, like this chairs on sale, and we have a little bit of money right now. Let's actually get a chair from West Elm. And
I literally get wet over this chair like monthly. I go to West Elm, I look at it, I'm like, damn, that's a chair, and then I leave.
The universe was like, we know you just made a decision that you shouldn't have done, so we're just going to cancel this order for you, basically.
Yeah, like, they were like, yeah, it's going to take like 4 weeks. And, all right, now, I have already heard that West Elm has like terrible customer service. And I figured that because we were doing something, we were picking it up at a store, we would have different... Because most of the people that I knew that had issues, like, they were having shipping problems.
Yeah, which if you live near West Elm, get it shipped to the store because you don't have to pay shipping fees.
Yeah, literally never try to get stuff shipped from them unless you have to. And honestly, at that point, like... shop anywhere else. It's fucking ridiculous how expensive it is. And white glove service. Like, it just sounds fucked up. Like, I don't want any of your gloves near me. But anyway. Do they actually even wear gloves?
Probably not.
That's probably, like, code for, like, we just pick it up and move it. I've never had
pick
someone,
it up
like,
more
place...
gingerly.
Imagine being bougie and, like, having people place furniture in your apartment. Like, what? Do people do that?
Oh, my God.
That's crazy to me. Anyway.
So they were, like, it's been, like, 4 weeks now since I decided to call them, and they were just like, oh, yes, so... we placed more orders than we had actually chairs, so we had to cancel some, and we've been trying to find yours in store, but we can't really find it. But they didn't fucking call me.
They didn't tell you, and they already cashed it.
Yeah, like, they charged me as soon as I placed the order, which, I mean, I know some places do that, and it was fine, but, like... They could have called me.
Been like, we can't find it. Here's your expensive money back.
It's like, did I just happen to call when they found out? Like, there's no way. They've known.
They were like, yeah, we looked at like 5 stores. We ordered this on October 10th. It took them like a month to call 5 stores, I guess, or whatever. And I was just like, okay. So we got our money back, and now I'm like, you know what? That's good, because now I can get, like, some fall clothes.
Yeah, they did give us a 30% off coupon that does not expire for the trouble.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty sniffed.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, but
maybe I'll get
still fucking sucked.
But I feel like at that point, I'm literally never going to do anything online again. I'm straight up going to go to that store and just pick something out there and never deal with any of this.
I definitely want to use it on a piece of furniture, maybe a coffee table. But...
yeah. Because we do need a coffee table.
Please.
A coffee table.
Coffee table.
So, yeah, that's something that happened. It's
also,
really
Johnny Depp, he's going to be in the Fantastic Beasts sequel, and...
he is a fantastic beast.
Let me just tell you that, like, I really hope that he's just, like, a villain for that movie alone and then dies at the end of it, because I don't want him here.
That's the nice way of putting it. Like... so not even if you're getting into the abuse allegations, which we should be getting into, you know what I'm saying? Just, like, having a campy-ass actor like that in the Harry Potter franchise really just wasn't going to toot my horn. I'm sorry.
They really should have done a Force Awakens type thing where they picked, besides the people that needed to come back because they were in it, like, they just did all new people that have barely had any roles in anything.
Like, Eddie Redmayne is not too played out yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would have been like Andrew Garfield, really? You know what I mean?
I don't even like Johnny Depp's acting in general.
I know.
So, like... I'm just not excited for this. I was still confused why Colin Farrell was in the first one that's coming out. He looks like he's a villain, though, and so he's probably not going to be there longer after that. But
yeah, because they've confirmed that, like, Eddie Redmayne is obviously going to be flying around.
Duh. Yeah.
But, like, they haven't, I don't know.
Like, if Johnny Depp was, like... young Dumbledore or like Grindelwald, I would die.
How mad would you be?
Everybody would be so upset.
I know.
There's no way that he's young Dumbledore. No way.
Because that's what I thought when I read the article. I was like, if he's Grindelwald, this whole franchise is going to the fans.
Yeah.
I don't know. The shit's in it. You know what I'm saying?
You fucked that up.
I did.
Oh,
but
shit.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Definitely
And that's
not.
the tea on that.
And then the last thing is that we were watching Sling the other night. We were watching some good classic House Hunters because why not?
It's like we hadn't had a Sling account for like a few months.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to just ease right back into like turnkey language. You know?
And so we were watching it, and when you watch previous episodes, like, they just randomly now put ads.
They're like on demand though.
Yeah, they're on demand. So like they just put random ads wherever they feel like it, even though it's not like an ad break in the show. So like they were walking through a house and they were looking at a shower and they were like, "Oh man, this shower head is way too low." Immediately chopped right there.
Like those YouTube midstream ads that like really obnoxious creators put in intentionally. By the way, you know they choose that, right? Just letting you all know. Mm-hmm. Just letting them know.
But like they just chopped right there, and then it went to 2 ads for shower heads. Like they're
Moen.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, let's be real. I do want to fuck one of their sinks. Like,
they have fantastic stuff. But, like, it was fucked up. They just cut right there because they're like, we're going to brainwash you into thinking that you need to have a new shower head and you're going to go buy this one.
Yeah.
It was really fucked up.
And at the end when they were like, so, like, you know what house? I think I like the... And then it immediately cut into like a 3-minute commercial, and I was like, this is fucked up. Because it's like when you watch on demand, you're not supposed to have commercials, and now they're burning them in to the actual programming. I guess some shows on different networks do it like when there would actually be commercial breaks, and then on HGTV, they're just splicing and dicing. I don't know what they're doing.
They're just throwing it wherever they damn
They're
feel.
like, we're gonna splice everything up, and Property Brothers gets 8 shows. That's home and garden television.
It's just the Property Brothers channel and plus 20 flip shows.
Oh my god. We were on Sling, and there's like a section of HGTV or any of the channels, and you can just like look through and just see all the different shows, and it'll have all the episodes there. And it was like different shows, but at least...
Flip or Flop, Masters of Flip.
Flip Clean. Like Flip Cleanse.
Flip Cup, you know?
Like, I swear to God, there were at least 6 shows that had the word flip in the title, and I flipped. Like, let's be honest.
More like flop.
But also, yeah, I'm more of a flop. Like, wait, that's a great question. Are you a flip or a flop?
I
feel like you're a flip.
Am I a flip?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely a flop. Like, there is no question. Now, Squeezy, a flip, but also with a slight flop. Lila straight flop. So I hope you enjoyed that segment.
That analyzation.
I don't know. If you're like a new person to the show, this is like a weird episode.
Hey, how you doing?
But hey, what's up? But anyway, let's just
fucking dive into the meat and potatoes of this discussion.
What are we gonna start saying now? Like the tofu and the taters still?
Yeah, you can still say potatoes.
No, but what if we were allergic to potatoes?
Yo, honestly,
I can't think of a worse hell to be involved in. Is that like something that could happen? I feel like that would happen if Donald Trump became president.
That would have really sucked for Matt Damon, being stuck on that planet with all those potatoes.
Oh my god, yeah. Can you imagine? Would you eat through your allergy if you were on Mars and it was the only way you could live? Because apparently this is just like,
we're tackling the real questions here right now.
But like, honestly... I probably would. Yo, if I were on Mars and all I had was cheese and I was going to be like cramps for days, I'd still eat the cheese.
Yeah. Your body would eventually be like, I guess I could do this.
But like, I know that like Mars is made of cheese and the moon's actually made of like nutritional yeast, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's different.
Let's go to the moon.
Let's not. Anyway. So, I was on Twitter the other day. You can follow me at Rach L. Whitehurst if you want to. I understand if you don't. So we're there, and I decided to do one of those polls because then I like remember that those exist. And
it's always fun when you remember that they're there.
Yeah, because they're useful. I just usually do them. I'm that person that's like, if I see a poll, I'm like, I'll do a poll, and it's like, wow, stop. So I did a poll because I was just thinking about bisexuality because I was talking to one of my friends who's also bisexual, and I was like, I should do a poll that's like, how many of you guys are bisexual? And then it just got like this whole conversation started, and we were just talking about sexuality and gender and all sorts of things, and I was like, wow, this would make a good podcast because my Twitter mentions are surprisingly awesome. Like, I really love the people that follow me on Twitter. I'm just saying, you're
honestly,
all great.
Community on like all the platforms.
Literally
honestly,
all of them.
Yeah, you guys are all great. Fantastic. Honestly. Bencheroonies.
We love it. But so we were just talking about, I was like, this would make a good podcast. So I asked you guys to send in some questions, and that'll probably just guide the conversation just because I'm sure you guys have asked it all. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of replies here. So
yeah, definitely.
I just want to hop right in.
Why don't you do that?
So this is obviously coming, like, anything that I'm answering, it's coming from the experience of a cisgendered woman who is bisexual and also dating a cisgendered man. So, like, and you're straight. I mean,
my info is cisgendered, straight, white male. Hey, here I am.
He chokes it out. It's fine. Just live your truth. All right, so anyway, the first question is, did you feel like you needed to have a sexual experience with a woman to validate your sexuality? And, like, what sucks about it is, I think that that's something that happens probably, like, it's not, probably not just, like, a bisexual thing that happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm sure that happens in, like, a lot of people's lives that are falling on the LGBT spectrum. But, yeah, it's something that, like, I almost didn't take my feelings seriously until I was like, wow, I'm comfortable enough to make it to that level. And that's so fucked up because now I see so many of you guys even just that are so much younger than me, you know, in your early teens, you've never dated anyone, you've never been with anyone, and you, like, know so solidly your sexuality. And I think that is fucking incredible.
I'm glad that, like, you know, as time goes on, people are making it more and more comfortable for... like,
young groups
educated,
of people.
Like, being educated on all these things. Thank you, internet.
Yeah. It's one of the things that happens on the internet, knowledge. Sometimes.
I think, you know, to be contrasting to that, like, I would say, like, I've never felt like I had to have any sexual interaction with a woman before I, like, was confirmed in being straight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's weird, right?
It is really weird because... you know, we shouldn't be making the assumption of anybody of their sexuality until, you know, they can decide for themselves what it is. And so, like, but just the way that society works, that, like, you know, that probably lends a huge hand into why I never felt like I ever needed to have a sexual encounter before I was 100% like, I am straight, you know?
Exactly. And I feel like I think that's so weird just because, like, I always knew that there was, like, something off about my sexuality because I was never fucking convinced that I was straight, and I never called myself straight, and I never, like, online, you know, I feel like when we were just getting into, like, social media and the internet, I feel like it was so prevalent to put your sexuality in your bio, like, and I feel like it still kind of is, like, I know I had my sexuality, like, on my Tumblr and everything like that.
I mean, I never did.
Like, now as I'm bi.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, before that, I never felt comfortable because I was like, the word straight, it, like, I knew what it meant, and I was like, but I have all of these instances where I'm feeling like that's a conflict.
Yeah. See, and it's so wild because I just never thought of even putting that there because I never was questioning.
You never thought that anyone would assume anything else?
Yeah.
And that you had nothing to fucking prove, which is cool, but, you know, that's your life and that's your privilege.
I mean, it honestly, like, it shouldn't be that way, but, like, that just...
It should be that way for everyone. Everyone should just be like, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, it's... Yeah. But sexuality is just so strange, I feel. And I just think that, like, I always knew that there was something to be questioning, and I was always denying everything. And then it didn't get until a point where I guess I was, like, maybe 15 or 16, where I feel like I was really starting to be like, okay, it's not going away at this point. It's only getting worse.
Yeah.
And I can't ignore it anymore. And I was with, you know, I was in drama and choir, and those are always really LGBTQ friendly spaces, I feel. And I was just surrounded by all these people that were out, and it was really cool. And I just was always like, yeah, this is a great place to be. And then I just slowly but surely started, like, coming out slowly. I would just be like, at the time I was really uncomfortable saying bisexual because of all of the fucking
stigma,
internalized biphobia I had about it. Because, like, you know, media, fucking, you watch any TV show or a movie and it's just, like, telling you that bisexuals are all these, like, vapid, insane sex maniacs that can't be in committed relationships and will ruin your lives. And it's like, part of it's edgy and cute. No, I'm just kidding. It's not at all. It's just fucked up. And so you're like, you know, you're hearing of people that you know that are like, oh, I came out as bi, but now I'm gay, and, like, nobody believes that anyone can actually be bisexual. It's always, like, on the road to coming out as an actual gay, and it's like you're just like a half fake gay in the middle here, and it's just, there's so much negativity. And then one day I was just like, honestly, it took me until I was 20 maybe 21 when I was like, you know what? I'm actually down to be part of this community.
Yeah.
I feel this, and I feel connected to that word. And every time I would like hear the word bisexual, like, you know, Megan Fox, for example, I just always remembered, because she was like one of the first celebrities that I remember coming out as bi.
Yeah.
And she just, and I know she's got weird views about bisexuality, so I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just thinking, like, hearing that word, I was like, damn, like, that's me, right? Like, probably, like, yeah, because the feelings are there, but I don't want to say anything because my family wants me to be straight.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even think my family had I was really good at hiding it. I don't think they had any fucking idea, and I knew it would be like their hell if I was anything other than straight, and so I just clammed the fuck up. But honestly, there were moments where I'm like,
you were
how
in
did you not know?
drama. I mean, that's a
only
bigger...
hung with lesbians.
Yeah.
Like, literally, my entire friend group was lesbians, and it wasn't even quite, or pansexual people too. I was really blessed. Like, the people that I surrounded myself with in high school, like, a lot of them were out as, like, pansexual, gay, lesbian, and it was so cool because I was hearing these words, and I just was like, I know that I'm, like, in there somewhere, but I'm just afraid.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I feel like I was really lucky, especially, like, where I grew up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I found that tribe of people, though.
It's just wild. Like, I find it fascinating hearing about people's experiences of all different genders and sexualities, of them, like, realizing what they really are, just because I've never had these thoughts and feelings before. So, like, it's just, like, it's interesting to me because it's something that I've never felt before. And so I love that all of this stuff is, you know, coming out and being more public now. More people are sharing their stories just because it's, like, it's making me more educated and, like, educating me on something that, you know, as far as I know, I'm never going to experience. And so it's just, it's crazy just to know about so many other people and how so many different people's lives and thoughts work.
Did you ever feel connected to the LGBT community just because of your dad?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like I said before, I didn't usually specify that to my friends or anything. My close friends knew. Yeah. But, like, I just didn't know how people were going. Yeah. I didn't know what people were going to take in. So,
it's understandable.
I mean, nobody was coming up and being like, so what sexuality is your dad? Like, nobody's asking me that. But also, like, I don't know. I did feel connected in that way.
Because you knew that, like, you could... Because there's always that thought that, like, gay people cannot raise children and shit. And, like...
It turned out pretty okay.
Yeah, I would say so. And I think, like, that's always really fucked up.
For a time in there, my dads were going to a gay church as well.
Yeah.
And so that was just a really cool experience. I was hanging out with a lot of people within the community there as well. A lot of older people that were in the community.
I follow a lot of faithful LGBT people.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because, you know, that's not something that I feel, you know, personally.
Yeah.
But, like, I just love that it just goes to show you, like, how different faith can be for different people.
Yeah.
And how it's supposed to be really for everyone, and it's just supposed to be a positive thing.
Yeah, like...
It might not be something I do, but I think it can be a great thing for many people that find, like, solace in it, and it sucks that, like, it gets ruined by... camo wearing beef jerkies. I don't know. That's what I just call, like, that group, I guess. I don't know.
At the church, there were people, like, of the LGBT community, and there was also straight people there. And, like, I think that those people are the true believers of the faith if they can all just come together and, you know, celebrate the religion and love unconditionally, as I think Jesus would.
Probably would be into that, I would say. I don't know him personally, but I have heard rumblings. All right, so that was the first question.
That was the first question. Damn, where are we? We're like halfway through this shit.
All right, okay. So basically, I found this varies from person to person, but what's the difference between bi and pansexual to you? So this is always, like, a debate. This also I want to answer the question of, like, do you think that bisexuality, like, enforces the gender binary?
Yeah.
Because I do not believe in the gender binary either. Like, I believe that, like, we exist on a spectrum, and I believe all of the people that say that they are non-binary or any other gender in between, they are valid, that it's their experience. I don't fucking know shit about anything. I've never had to question my gender, and that's something that I have privilege about. And so why would I like have a fucking thought about anyone's experience like that if I've never been there, you know?
Like I definitely know less about the gender spectrum than I do the sexuality spectrum.
Yeah, and I feel like we're all it's becoming more public, and there's a lot more attention on this topic right now. Like, non-binary is not even a word that I knew existed maybe 5 or so years ago, maybe?
Yeah, so I mean...
Not in terms of gender. Like, I knew that was a word, for other things.
What's the word non-binary? Like, I don't know that.
Isn't that like a math term, too? I don't
Who the fuck knows?
Who cares? Math is a whole mystery. That's something we can't make a whole show about. But anyway, the whole question here is supposed to be about bi and pan. So, for me, the way I look at it, and the way a lot of bisexual people like to look at it, is bisexuality is the attraction to same and different genders. So that can apply to people that are like for example, like because I'm a woman, like so that's men for me, or non-binary people, or trans men, or anything of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I personally don't believe that it's enforcing the gender binary, because that's the way that I look at it, and that's the way a lot of people look at it. And you might think like, okay, well then why don't you just call yourself pansexual? Because that's supposed to be, pansexual is just supposed to be loving whoever you love, regardless of any gender indication, you know what I mean? And I just think like, so the way I see it is like, if I find myself like attracted to a trans woman, I view her as a woman because that is how she identifies. So that's just the way I see it. Sometimes I'm like, okay, well I guess probably if you really boil it down, I'm probably pansexual, but I just have really felt like the most comfort in the bisexual label, and I don't know, I guess that's just like a matter of preference. I don't really think there's a real reason for it.
I think it's just right now, this community is, with all of the like knowledge and education that's going on right now, in a way, the community is building its own vernacular, like its own language, and trying to figure out what means what and what terms should be used for what. And while it can start debates, it's, this is the way these things get started, and everybody like agrees on terms and whatnot. And so I think that, like, not too long ago, like, I didn't even know pansexual existed. Like, I knew of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. I didn't know about pansexual. That's basically, I heard LGBT. That's it. That's all I knew of.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are identifying as bisexual that feel the same way as you, is that if you boil down the way, they probably could be under the term pansexual. But it's just...
bisexual is basically supposed to be like an umbrella term for those sexualities that are more, fuzzy.
Yeah. And
because there's a lot of, I guess, like, there's a lot of blurred lines there.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're going through, like, the stage of trying to identify who you are, and then, like, you settle on bisexual, and then for years that's what you've honed in on, and it's not meant to, like, slight anybody or, like, say that anything else is wrong. Like, I
really hope that people don't think that, like, because I'm bisexual that I believe that the gender binary is just two genders, because that's not what I believe. So I want to like reinforce that, because I think that a lot of bisexual people feel the same way as me. That's what I see talked about in the community online, is like that we're not saying that at all. And like, honestly, I wouldn't be uncomfortable if someone referred to me as pansexual. I just, prefer the bisexual label. Yeah.
But language is such a weird thing. It's so complicated. And so I think there's a long way to go, and I don't think anybody's ever going to, like, agree on everything 100%.
No. There's many divisive terms in, like, most communities anyway, But, like, we were getting into an interesting conversation on Twitter about this, because a lot of the people that were tweeting me, they were saying that they identified as pansexual. However, they felt comfortable in certain situations just saying bisexual because it's more heard of, at least, I guess, because I mean, now at this point I feel like pansexual is really up there too, but
I can't think of a media where a character has been referred to as pansexual,
and in a positive way.
I mean, you barely see bisexual in a positive way, so like, I know
if anybody has any other like examples. I mean, I know that Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is something that we need to watch, because that's got like really great bi characters. But if anybody has any for like the bi community, pansexual community, etc., like hit us up, because I'd love to like see positive representation. But yeah, so I just thought that was really interesting, because I say that I'm bisexual, but yeah, it's interesting the way that we use different labels around certain people. Like, we were talking about using the word gay when you're talking about, like, a feeling, like, say I'm watching Mad Men and I'm like, oh my god, Betty, I'm so gay right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that vibe. And so, like, a lot of the people in, like, the lesbian and gay community, they don't really like when people that are bisexual or pansexual say that, even though gay for a really long time has been more of, like, an umbrella term too. It's like an identity, but then it's also, like, encompassing all LGBT rights. Because for so long, everybody just said gay rights. Yeah. And now I feel like that's changing. I feel like you hear more people saying at least LGBT, you know, not LGBTQ plus. Like, that's what I try to go for. But, you know, in the media, you hear LGBT rights, which I think is a step in the right direction because it's inclusive. You know what I mean? And that's
definitely
what I want.
But I don't think there's also anything inherently wrong with you saying, like, oh man, I'm so gay for Betty right now or whatever.
I think I did get a really interesting tweet about that. They were like, do you find that you saying something like that as a bisexual was almost like a little bit of bi visibility? And I thought it was a really interesting point because I had never thought of it like that before.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason for that is because, like, when I'm talking about, like, men that I'd, you know, be attracted to, I was about to just be like, men that I'd fuck, because I was thinking of John Hamm. Because we're talking about Mad Men. So that's a show.
Oh, you weren't talking about Pete Campbell?
Oh, fuck Pete Campbell. Not great, Bob. Just watch that, especially if you're bi. That is the show for you to watch. So many beautiful people. But anyway, like, that's a show where you like, yeah, she's bi watching that. But, like, when I'm thinking about a man that I'm attracted to, I never, like, think, like, I don't know what it is, but it's like when I'm thinking about women, because that's, like, same to me, that's when I feel like those are, like, more queer feelings, and I don't feel like my feelings towards men are queer inherently.
But
so that's why I use more, you know, gay or queer terms when I'm talking about women. Does that make sense to people?
Like, technically, if we're going to be technical, that all of your feelings should be queer feelings, because you just, as a whole, all of your feelings are all queer because you are bi. You're not half and half or anything like that.
That's just some, like, internalized shit.
Yeah, that is really...
So I'm just being open and honest about it, and I don't know if anybody else has a shared experience, and I don't know what's fucking right or wrong. I'm only now... How long have I been out, bitch? Like, what, 2?
Dude, be 2 years in this coming January.
Yeah. So, and that's publicly to the internet, and, like, to college, I came out pretty much, like, in college when I was, 21. So, like, honestly, very few years. I'm 24 now. I'll be 25. Who cares? Either way, it's been not a long time that I've been, like, publicly saying it, so I'm still kind of, like, learning how to, like, get the vernacular for what I'm experiencing, because for fucking, like, 15, 16 years of my life, I was being like, repress, deny, it's not there, you are quote-unquote normal. I don't want to be normal. I don't know what that means. Who is normal? Definitely not me. I'm a flop normal. Okay?
Whoever asked that question, that was a great question, because I never thought about that before. It's very interesting.
Because, like, it's, like, I love that our conversations are always really, like, just constructive and, like, devil's advocate without being, like, no one's just, like, dragging me for feeling a certain way.
Nobody's tipping fedoras or anything.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so how do you still deal with internalized homophobia in your day-to-day life from family, friends, or others when you were younger? Like, I guess at times, God, it's like, it's something that, like, I don't want to admit, you know what I mean? But, like, it's true, because there's so many things that have been said about my sexuality to me, and sometimes I will let them in, and just for a moment I feel like, oh man, like, for example, I don't feel comfortable in a lot of LGBTQ spaces because I feel like I'm not welcome. And that is something that I really want to work on, because I know that there are amazing people in that community that are super welcoming. I just need to feel more comfortable, because it is a thing in the LGBT community to be, you know, there are a lot of lesbian and gays that just are really not into bisexuals, and it's, like, upsetting to say that, and I've had that experience in my own life, and of course I've met people that are totally not like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, more, but, like, it's just, I've actually experienced the majority of the biphobia in the LGBT community.
This is wild.
I mean, yeah, and that's just, like, sad, because, you know, that's where you're looking for, like, more community and, like, kinship and everything like that, and, like, our experiences are different, but they're not, like, I don't know, like we all have dealt with feeling invalidated for our sexuality, and we've all felt like feared for our like I literally felt like I definitely would have never came out while I was still living at home.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like I literally lost my whole family over this. You know what I mean? Like I know many lesbian and gays that have also felt that way or have had that experience. So you want that community, and so that's something that I want to work on because I know that it's out there and I'm just shy, I guess. Mm-hmm. Just because that's been my experience, and like you see these like, you know, statistics, and it'll be like people quizzing like lesbians or gay men, and they'll be like, hey, like would you date a bisexual? And it's like 70% are like nah. And it's not fun to hear. And then you see it on Glee, they're like, haha, just we all know what Glee did. We all know what they did. Like literally I've never like the worst thing I've ever seen in media for bisexuality.
It's honestly surprising that it came from there.
Yeah, it's not though. But yeah, I think that's just like something that like when you're told from like a lot of people that like your sexuality is like either not real or stupid or it makes you fucking disgusting, sometimes you're going to internalize that, and you know
it'll take a long time to move past that. You can't just erase years and years and years of hearing one thing just as soon as you come out you get to wipe it clean.
Yeah,
you know?
Like I still deal with it, but it's definitely not as bad as like when I was still like not even saying what I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, fuck it, I want you all to fucking know how I feel, bitch. Okay. Do you ever feel insecure about your bi-ness? Like if you find a guy attractive, you think maybe I'm straight and vice versa. Yo, this is actually something I would love to talk about because I actually have like the opposite thing. There was a lot of time in my life where I thought I was just a lesbian and I was super closeted, and I just thought because like the fact that I had feelings for women at all meant that like I was definitely just like not straight, and I didn't really know what bisexual was or if any of it was like real, you know what I mean? Because you're hearing that it's not. And like I thought that like, oh, what if like my attraction to men is just because like that's what it's expected of me? But then I was like, but wait, no, I actually like do want to kiss them and date them. Like I'm just confused, but I also want to date her. Like what's happening? And so I was very confused when I was younger, and I thought like, oh my god, I guess I'm gonna have to tell my parents I'm a lesbian and they're gonna hate me. And then like as I got older I was like, well wait, like that's not even true, because then there's all of these examples of things, and I was just a fucking mess to be honest with you.
This is before the time that you could educate yourself really well. It was based off of what the schools decided they wanted to teach.
Yeah, and this was before like I was dating also. I was just having like all of these like, you know, I'm like a tween and I'm having all of these feelings and doing all of these things, and I'm like, wait, none of this is adding up to what I thought I was or what I could be, because I didn't even know bisexual was a thing.
Yep.
And then once I got into high school, I started to meet people that were like me, and then I was like, oh, so this is just normal. I mean, I still had a lot of hatred for myself about it, but I was like, at least I can explore this now and feel like I'm not alone, if that makes sense.
I feel that.
But yeah, I know it's a lot of me answering questions, but you know, you had to be a straight, so fuck.
Yeah, I know.
It's not my fault. Okay. Are there any moments from your childhood that looking back you're like, wow, that was hella gay? Well, there was many. I'm just like, why did my parents like not think like, wow, why does she make her Barbie scissor so much? Like, honestly, I remember like there was a time, and like I didn't even know what that meant, you know what I mean? Like I was just doing that as like a young kid.
Yeah.
I was probably in elementary school, and like I didn't really understand, but I knew that my parents couldn't see it. And I remember one specific instance, I don't even know if they would remember this, but I had left them, like, they were out, and they're naked, too, like, okay, yeah. And they were out, and I had a Ken doll, like, let's not be confused here, like, I had options. It wasn't like you chop off one of their hair or whatever, like, no, this was definitely fun, and I, like, did that, and I left it out on, like, my radiator, and I remember waking up the next morning, and they were apart, and I remember being, like, so ashamed and embarrassed, because I was like, oh my god, and I'm thinking, like, maybe they just thought, like, I couldn't find my Ken doll, or, like, I was just a kid fucking around, I don't know, but, like, I kind of, like, one thing I'd love to ask my family is if they're, like, at this, maybe I'll ask them in, like, 40 years, like, were there any moments where they were like, were they ever questioning my sexuality? I wonder. it keeps me up at night. No, it doesn't. But, like, I'm just curious.
I
like,
would wager a bet that their answer would be no, because they would never
want to admit that
they
it's
would
real.
never let the thought of even considering you being anything but straight enter their minds.
Yeah, because, like, once I started telling them that it was, like, I knew that things were happening in, like, 98, they were like, peace! They were like, that's too real, that's too young, you knew things. Because I say, like, my sexual awakening was My Date with the President's Daughter, that movie, that girl, and that pink crushed velvet dress. And I was like, why do I rewind the scene so much and watch her pull her hair out of a bun in slow motion? She did that. And I would be like, wow, this is everything. Like, that's another example of me being really gay. So again, also just, like, how often I made out with all of my friends because I was just like, I love this. This is great. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
There's many, many experiences.
And, like, if you, like, there were definitely points where, like, there were certain, like, male celebrities I was really into. Like, I remember there was a time where I was, like, super into Jesse McCartney, and I had, like, 3,000 photos of him on my wall. But, like, as I got older and started feeling more comfortable, like, thinking about women, you notice my walls were just shifting.
Yeah.
And I still had, like, the highlights. I still had, like, Adam Brody and, like, all of those, like, dork teen guys at the time.
Yeah.
And then I was just, like, all these women all over my walls. And I was like, do they think I'm just, like, artsy? Like, what's the deal
Do
here?
I just like fashion?
And, like, did they ever think, like, wow, why does she only hang out with lesbian women? That's not weird. Like, that's not a red flag or anything.
Yeah.
Her and that one girl spent a lot of time together. What's that? Like, I guess when I'm myself, like, of course I'm seeing all of this, so I'm like, I know what's going on, but I don't know.
You know, a lot of people were just very blind to it.
I guess. Or just, they're not capable of seeing it, so they're like,
yeah.
I'm not even going to consider that.
Exactly.
This is a great question that's not about sexuality. Advice for asking about someone's preferred pronouns at work. I don't want to misgender them, but I also don't want to out them. I think this is a really great question.
Mm-hmm. So, when it comes to pronouns, you know, I don't think that anybody should ever assume anybody's pronouns ever. Like, you know, why...
You literally don't know anything about a person when you first meet them, yeah.
You know, doesn't it just sound easier to, until somebody tells you a preference, you just walk around saying theys and, you know, general non-gendered pronouns?
Yeah,
like,
gender-neutral pronouns.
I think that sounds pretty simple. Like, you just use non-gendered pronouns for every single person on the planet until they decide to tell you that they have specified pronouns.
Yeah, I think that's the way that I would do it. So, like, you know, because if you don't feel comfortable asking and you don't want to make any assumptions, and obviously you don't want to out them, I would just use gender neutral language. And if they are someone that would appreciate that, I'm sure that they might tip you off about that, because I mean, I feel like that's the way that we should all be speaking. It's not fucking hard. Like, when me and Chris do the podcast and we do binge time, like, we don't ask you guys to tell us what your gender is, because that's, you know, why would we
I don't think
know?
we should.
Like, who gives a fuck?
I don't think we should be ever asking. I think it's just whenever a person is comfortable to share their thoughts. Like,
yeah, then we're gonna do whatever you fucking want us to do, because it's you, and we want to make you feel as comfortable and awesome as you are.
Yeah.
And so when we do, like, binge time and stuff, like, we make it a point, like, I've gotten to, like, it's like a habit now that I only use neutral pronouns, because I would never want to misgender one of you guys by accident. Like, that would fuck me up.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I'll slip up if it's like a super feminine name, and then I'm like, damn it, like, and we cut it, and we literally will go back and say they or them, because I would never want to make someone be uncomfortable listening to the show. You know what I mean? And I think that's how we should approach anyone in life. Like, people that say, like, oh my god, like, it's crazy that I would have to sit here and, like, think about using a neutral pronoun. It's like, you do that all the time. You'll be like, yeah, they were just on the 5th Avenue, or I just saw them leave the store. You use these words all the time. It's not hard. It's just you have to be thoughtful, and a lot of people don't like being thoughtful.
People, you know, if it has anything to do outside of them,
like, this is a very thoughtful question. You
Yeah.
know? Like, this is a great question.
Yeah, if for most people, if it's outside of them or the people that they love in their life, like, they don't want to think about it, and, like,
It's fucked up.
nobody wants to consider the thoughts and feelings of other people. I mean, that's usually how it goes. And so, yeah, kudos to you for, you know, being considerate.
Picking up on this and being like, hey, like, this is something that I want to be thoughtful about, because I think that's great. I think that's how we should approach all strangers. Have you ever experienced biphobia from lesbians, and are you ever afraid to tell lesbians you're bi? Yeah, and yeah. like, to be honest. And, like, there's plenty of lesbians that I know that are amazing and super accepting of bisexuals and pansexuals, and those are just some great peeps.
Yeah.
But I have noticed a majority of, like, the hate directed towards, like, I would just say, like, the most biphobia I've experienced has been from that community. And that really fucking sucks, because I hate that. And, like, I don't know, there's just, like, something about the community, and, like, for me as a woman, it's, like, they won't date me or won't even, like, touch me because I've been contaminated by men. And I just think that's, like, slut-shaming on, like, a whole new level. Yeah. And, like, I know that happens a lot in the lesbian community because I've had lesbian friends, and it's, like, some of them have, like, slept with guys, and, like, the ones that have not slept with guys are, like, on a pedestal. And I think that's also fucked up because,
I
like...
think that's really just a toxic way to look at people. Like,
that's just, like, something that, like, you know, LGBT issues, there's issues. Like, we should be discussing these, like, things that are happening, like, in the community.
I mean, yeah, that's a way of, like, in a way, it's a little bit of a privilege because, like, maybe you were privileged enough to grow up in a place where you never really had to hide how you really felt, and you were able to date just women from starting off.
And you didn't have to, like... Yeah, like, be in a relationship with a man for your safety.
Yeah, like, so many people...
Because that happens.
You know, if, like... I know there's definitely really judgmental places where, like, if women just aren't in a relationship with a man for after a while, like, people will just start to question, you know?
Yeah, the Midwest.
Like, yeah.
But, like, honestly...
Literally. So, for some people, it's literally their safety until they can go to somewhere where... Or be in a better place where it's a little bit safer. And so, I don't think it's fair to, like, say that somebody is not gay enough because they have been with the opposite sex. Like,
yeah, I know. And I mean, it's just like I said, it's slut shaming, and, like, once again, we shouldn't be judging people for their sexual history, and your sexual history does not define you, and everyone has very different lives, guys, very different realities, and we just need to be a little bit more thoughtful. But, like, that's definitely a vibe that's out there, and I definitely find myself using more terms like queer and gay when I'm talking to lesbian women than, like, saying the word bisexual sometimes. And that fucks me up, and I shouldn't have to feel that way. But it's just, I mean, not all the time, but, like, I've had, like, experience, like, I've had people tell me that, like, I wouldn't be, you know, I don't give off a gay enough vibe to be, like, looked at in the community as one of them, you know what I mean? And, like, it's like, I don't think anybody's look is... You know, it's your look. Indicative. It's you. Yeah. You're a person. This is you. And whatever your sexuality is, that comes with you and how you present yourself to the world. There's a lot of toxicity out there, guys. But there's also a lot of people that just get it. And those people, I really appreciate. You know?
We need to just be looking at people as that each person is an individual person and I feel like not trying so hard to box them into in this box, in this box, in this box, in this box. Like, you should just get to know the person. Yeah. And if you
like them, then cool, and it works out, and they're great, then awesome. You know what I mean? Like, that's just life. I don't know. That's the thing that I've learned in therapy is, like, every time I compare my life experiences to somebody else, it's just like she's constantly reminding me that it's not my reality, and I'm living my own reality, and we all are walking a different fucking life. I don't know, path, life. I'm just all over the cliches right now. But, like, we all have such different experiences, so you have to, like, just get to know each person on an individual level before you make these stupid-ass judgments. Yeah. Just saying. Because I would never be, like... I would just never do that to somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? And maybe that's just because I am bisexual and I can understand attraction to many people. But at the same time, like, I could never be, like, disgusted by someone for their sexual past. That's fucked up. And if you feel that way, I don't know, just, like, kind of maybe look inward and figure out why you have that feeling. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Its sexuality's lit.
Yeah.
It's nuanced as fuck. Those are two terms that I would say actually fit.
Nuanced as fuck.
It really is, because it's just crazy. It is.
Like, I don't like you for being bisexual. Like, not that sounds bad, but, like,
no, I know what you're trying to say.
You know what I mean? Like, I like you just because you are you. You are this person. And
my bisexuality is a part of what makes me myself, but it's not like...
but it's not like, you know, I'm going through, like, oh, you got this, you got this, you got this, you know, like, defining you by the boxes that you...
have checked off in my life.
exactly.
Nah, I'm not into that. And, like, it's great because I'm really lucky with you because, you, like, even before I was out as bisexual and I was just saying I was, like, sexually fluid or whatever I was saying.
Yeah.
And you were always just so chill with it, and, like, you knew, like, that I had been with women before I had met you, and you were never, like, you literally never, ever gave a fuck. And you never questioned any of it. You were like, you just took it all and you were like, okay, that's whatever. I also kissed a girl in a shed. Like,
yeah.
Haven't we all, Chris? Haven't we all?
I mean, you know, growing up with two dads since kindergarten, you know,
You learn shit.
You learn things.
I know.
To anybody out there that thinks that, you know, anybody in the LGBT community can't be good parents, you know, really.
Fuck off.
They can.
That's really fucked up. But yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky because, like, that's something that happens all the time. Like, you just get asked, like, oh, well, how does Chris feel? How does your boyfriend feel? How does your girlfriend feel? Or whatever. And I think it's really lame because it's like, who the fuck cares what they feel? If they feel something bad, they're gone, girl.
Yeah,
they're leaving.
I can tell you that I'm completely fine, but I don't want to tell you that because I'll just
matter.
tell you it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like, I just think that's dumb. And that's, like, the classic thing that, like, everybody asks because they're
that's
like,
probably
wow, your sexuality must be really disturbing to your partner. Your partner, that's, like, insulting to you, though, because it's, like, that's implying that, like, you would at all care.
It's insulting on multiple levels.
Yeah, it's just, it's insulting. Putting salt in the wound. I don't know. I'm just trying to be weird.
Oh, fuck.
All right. And then we got a question here that says, do you feel that telling certain people about your sexuality was kind of pointless, like none of their business, because that's how I feel? Yeah, like there was a time before I came out publicly that I was like, well, who cares? Like, yeah, this is my past, and like, yeah, I totally am probably bisexual, but like, do I really gotta tell people I'm dating Chris? Like, I'm not gonna be leaving him for a woman anytime soon. Do I really gotta shake things up? But it just, you can't grasp how comfy I feel just having it all out there now. And it's like, you don't realize how much you're holding in until you all let it out. And I mean, if you're not comfortable coming out, or you really do, like, don't really think you have to tell other people, then, like, that's totally fine. I wanted people to know because I wasn't comfortable being thought of as something I was not. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the part that really got to me. It was like, I don't want people thinking I'm straight because that's not an identifier that I have ever felt comfortable using. Yeah. If that makes sense.
I get that.
All right. So I think that's about all for the questions on that topic for today. But we can do several episodes about sexuality and everything else under the sun, because I just think it's all really fascinating. We got to get, like, guests on for this type of thing, too, because I think that would be great.
Just more guests in general for all topics.
Yeah. So let's get to the question. Let's just do, like, maybe, like, one or two questions that are, like, just, like, Beppo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
just
understand
to top
what
it
you're
off. Picking up what I'm putting down.
Okay, so for the Patreons, that's patreon.com/CoffeeWithChrachel if you want to fucking sign up and
if you want to fucking
if you want to fucking do that. This is from Allie, who said, any tips on packing makeup, nail polish, etc. without breaking it? I'm moving in a few weeks and I'm terrified that my pallets are going to break on the moving truck.
Wow. What did we do?
You literally wrapped everything in paper towel.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely wasteful, but it worked.
No, we took those paper towels and then we just saved them.
Yeah, I know.
Used them because we were, like, poor. We didn't have anything.
So it wasn't wasteful. It was just weird. It was a sad time.
It was interesting.
I'm glad we didn't kill the planet, though. You know, just the tears. Yeah, so each pallet, I took, like, several pieces of paper towel and I wrapped it around, then, like, taped it, and that made it, like, very comfortable. And then each pallet was wrapped, so it was very cushioned inside a box. And then I definitely, like, put clothing
filled up
on the bottom and on the top.
Space.
Yeah, like anything that you're just already going to be packing. Nail polish, I think I left a lot of it.
Yeah, you did get rid of most of your nail polish collection.
And I think I just did the same thing where I wrapped them in, you know, fucking paper towel and shit, but I'd probably put them, like, alone so that if they did break, it wouldn't fuck up anything else, you know?
Yeah.
And perfume I put in my carry-on. Just saying. I would recommend that, especially if you got expensive ones, okay?
Yes.
All those replica fans out there.
And I think this is a great question to end this on. This may be TMI, but how do you all get freaky in your place when it's a studio and the chunks are always there? Whenever my boyfriend and I have sexy times, his cat always finds a way to make it feel really, really awkward.
Yo, that happens. They'll like jump up on the bed, and I literally am like, get the fuck out of here.
Like they're trying to like take a nap on the bed while we're doing stuff, and it's like, please leave. This is weird.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know, usually we just get rid of them. You know what
I mean, if they're not like trying to take a nap on the bed, then usually I don't like see them, basically.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, there's sometimes like afterwards when you're like when you're done and you're in that mode, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll lock eyes with Squeezy and the judgment is so real. I feel like
he's just looking at you like, wow, you guys really fucking
the walk of shame to the bathroom. Yeah. Squeezy is honestly a judgmental prick. I love him. He's licking your backpack. It's magical.
Squeezy, what are you doing?
Do you hear his scratchy licks?
He's so weird.
I really don't know what's going on in his head.
Oh, fuck. Well, I guess we should end it there.
Yeah.
The next time we're going to have a lit conversation about climate change because we watched the Nat Geo documentary with Johnny Depp, which, I mean, you should watch that.
Johnny Depp?
Wow, I said Johnny Depp because we talked about Johnny Depp and I read Johnny Depp.
Holy.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh my god, that would have been a different movie that I wouldn't have watched.
Yeah. So, with Leo, who's much better option. And so, you should definitely watch that, but we're going to talk about that more.
It's also, like, low-key, like, extra commentary from the set of The Revenant. You know
Honestly,
what I mean?
At times it was a little self-indulgent on the Revenant.
A lot of Leo,
stuff.
Not as much melting ice.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But there was a lot
It was, like,
happening.
really good. I think it was better than An Inconvenient Truth.
I don't know if I've actually even seen that.
I liked that because it was like basically like a TED Talk style where he's on a stage and he's giving a presentation. And it was really effective, some of the things that he did, but then like people just didn't take it seriously. And so,
yeah, I know. They all were like, it's a fucking hoax.
Fucking Al Gore, you crazy man.
Yeah,
like,
my mom was like anti-Gore, and I was like, listen.
A lot of people were, and it's just like, he's really passionate about the climate.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to binge time.
So, with the rest of you guys, thanks for having a cup of coffee and a lengthy discussion.
Yes.
Hope to have more of these with you guys. Thanks for being a great group of intelligent young minds.
Yes, all of that.
Or not young minds, you're all minds, and you're mine.
Oh.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at this point. It's like, you're having like a tense conversation because you're like trying really hard to like make sure you're hitting all the points and not saying anything wrong. Yeah. And now it's like, let's relax into this binge-ness.
The binge time where we can fuck up anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for the binge time, since Halloween just ended and it's just Christmas first has just passed, this is how the binges are transitioning from Halloween to the holiday times, what they're doing to transition.
I'm ready. Transition lenses. We got Nicole Dowling, who is downing copious amounts of Starbucks Thanksgiving blend.
Gotta get some of that. Kate Convery is converting their Halloween decorations to turkeys.
Kayla Harding is hard at work embroidering some elaborate fall decor.
Sarah Booth is changing their email signature from boo to give thanks.
Oh my god, give thanks. Allison Sense doesn't think it makes sense to decorate so early. Yo, one of our neighbors already has Christmas lights up, and honestly, I want to be on that fucking level.
I want to be there. November 1st, man. I want to be there.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should just do it.
Emma Corbeil is untangling the cords of their string lights.
A task. Heather Ann is anticipating big shopping lines this year and is getting their gifts now.
Sloan Fuller's cornucopia couldn't be fuller.
Honestly. Megan Rackley is racking up points at Starbucks, getting tons of peppermint mochas.
Bailey Lynn is rolling bales of hay into their yard.
Me. Sloan Nolan is slow to decorate and probably won't get a tree until December.
Come on, Sloan. What are you doing? Alicia Schreiner is setting up their Christmas shrine, a.k.a. a tree.
Nice. Good stretch there. Jackie Goldfarb is putting out all of their red and gold makeup.
Sammy Jessam is only taking down some of the ghosts in their apartment.
Some. We want a haunted basement. Angelica Felice has already put the angel topper on their tree last week.
Jackie Burkhart is putting on their jacket so they can hang lights on their house.
Madison Greer is only wearing red and green until the new year. I don't know why I'm doing this radio voice right now.
Sasha Smith is smiling for a Christmas card they're making.
Hannah Labelson is labeling all their ornaments.
Daisy Blossom Dottie is dotting their yard with fake turkeys.
Good. Corey Springfield is ready for spring and doesn't decorate for any fall holidays.
All right, Corey.
Honestly, leave.
Margarita is marking their yard for where the blow-up reindeer will go.
My favorite thing is we give them fake thoughts and then we have opinions about them.
Yeah.
Like, we're such assholes. Okay. Nicole Allen is braving the cold to pick out a tree.
Ilka is making an almond milk eggnog.
Yo, we gotta fucking do that.
Really, though.
Rebecca O'Donnell hates the odor of balsam and will not be buying any Thanksgiving decor.
Allison Francois wishes the sun would be out longer so they could continue to decorate.
Me. Anna Hernandez is destroying everyone's expectations by decorating for Valentine's Day. I couldn't even choke it out.
Ian Murphy is feeling sad that their spooky ghosts are no longer needed.
Well, fuck you, Ian. Just saying. Flynn and Drew are drawing hand turkeys.
That was interesting.
I just really wanted to emphasize the Drew.
Mackenzie Knight is ready for nighttime so they can show off their light display.
Annie Wynn is ready to win their office's cornucopia contest.
Mariah Hanna already has Mariah Carey's Christmas album on.
Oh my god, I saw like a tweet and it's showing that like the Google search for that is rising.
Yep.
Amazing. Megan Grilly is grilling corn.
Because that's the most
I feel like
harvest thing you can do.
But there's also summer sweet corn, so like corn year round. That's why we're all running on fructose, right?
And that's why it's my fave. Chloe Killup already has to kill spiders that came out of their tree.
Cat Valeos is the black cat everyone forgets about after Halloween. What the fuck?
Isn't it true though?
It's so sad.
Emily Lewis is...
I would never forget a cat.
Emily Lewis is filling their empty Halloween decor box.
Beth Von Secca is using a holiday-themed font on all of their school papers.
Jax is taking an axe into the woods to chop down their own tree.
Oh my god. Ash Roselle has rosy cheeks because they spent all day in the cold hanging lights.
Megan Wilson is not willing to take down their Halloween decor.
Sarah Seaman is out at sea preparing to hunt the Christmas ahi.
Ah, yes, the old Christmas ahi. Becca Jansen hates this time of year and is pretending it's January.
Who likes January?
Becca does.
Listen, Cassandra Lee is leaving all of their Halloween decor up until December.
Emma Nygren is the Grinch and is making their plans to steal Christmas.
Amanda Marie is amazed that so many people already have their Christmas decorations out.
Jackie Bergiulio is keeping their house barren of decorations.
Danielle Manus may not take down the Halloween decor because they just don't feel up to it.
Michelle North is placing a North Pole sign in their yard.
Bridget Dubin has been waiting for November 1st to finally reveal their house's light show.
Caitlin Whalen is wailing because they're the person that hates early holiday celebrations.
Cassandra Buckout is outside tearing down their elaborate Halloween decor.
Cody Robinson is robbing a giant blow-up turkey from their neighbor's yard.
Jenna Gordonier is filling their homes with even more gourds.
All the gourds. Jennifer Cornwell is placing those multicolored corn cobs around their house. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Maya Elizabeth is bathing their house in the scent of clove and cinnamon. So specific.
Courtney Hall is not willing to admit that Halloween is over.
I thought it was going to be like a deck the hall, but you really took me for a loop there. Jada Goshi is going to a store to get discounted Halloween candy. Aren't we all?
Kelly Adams is adding turkey window clings to their collection of pumpkin ones.
Ishbel Mendez is already playing Jingle Bells 24/7.
Courtney White is ready for the white snow to begin.
Megan McNally is putting the egg in the eggnog this holiday season.
Camellia Malky had to go to the mall because they had no Thanksgiving decor.
Dana Daly is only doing decorations in Animal Crossing with the daily items from Nookling Junction.
Chloe Archer is burning the chestnut and clove candle from Bath & Body Works.
We're loving that clove today. Skylar Medley is placing a medley of potpourri into their cornucopia.
Say that 5 times fast.
I really hated having to say that.
Angela Sue is preparing tons of hearty soups.
Just because.
Just because this is the season of soups.
It is, it really is. Jason. Hillary Gay is pulling out their sleds, ready to slide down the snowy hills.
Jennifer Habgood doesn't think Thanksgiving decorations are very good.
Honestly, they're not. Haley Cadwalder is taping fall leaves to their walls.
Marlene Naj is marking their Thanksgiving food prep calendar.
Christina Contreras is honestly skipping Thanksgiving and going straight to Christmas.
Madison Wolfe is not worried about any decor and is wolfing down their Halloween candy instead.
Elizabeth Hall Brooke is gonna go Hall broke after spending so much money on Black Friday.
Aaron Bray is braving the cold to tear down the haunted house they set up.
Bridget Carey Davis is carrying bags full of Thanksgiving ingredients to their house a little early.
Yeah. Talia Miller has a million Halloween decor items and really doesn't want to take them down.
Catherine Simpson likes simple decor and only has one turkey flag on their house. Turkey flag!
Taco Roach is planning their Thanksgiving tacos.
Allie McGregor made the most gorgeous Thanksgiving display in their bay window.
Megan Preyes is putting stuffed snowmen in the window of their Prius.
Kendall Berg is using their iceberg Halloween costume as snowy decor.
So versatile, Kendall. Claire Wood would love for this month to fly by so we can get to Thanksgiving.
Anthony Hood is wearing a hoodie that looks like a Santa hat.
And Rachel Evans is eventually going to take down their 4th of July decorations.
Whoa, Rachel, that's that.
Come on, Rachel, what are you doing?
Alright, so the rest of the Beach Boppos, they are the individual kernels of corn that are multicolored.
Oh, yes.
You know, because they're just rustic and dried out slightly, and you never can really eat it. It's just more of decoration.
It is just for decoration. It's kind of sad.
You were all decorative corn in my eyes. You got Sylvia Ehrlichman-Gross,
Allie Malone,
Stephanie Oliver,
and Rose Barnett.
So thank you guys so much for supporting the show. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yes, and, hopefully you guys will sign up for the gift exchange.
Yeah, don't forget to sign up. Links to everything on CoffeeWithChrachel.net.
Yes. And we will see you on what the fuck day?
Sunday.
Sunday.
No post on Sunday, as they say in the old Harry Potter.
Okay.
Shut up, Chris.
Okay, we're just gonna go now. Bye.
Bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.